I've done a lot of things in my life. I've worked on submarines. I've worked as a firefighter. I've worked as an EMT. I've been in the corporate world as an executive manager in training and development. But today I want to talk about something that I learned while I was working in emergency medicine. When you sit with people in their final moments, you start to recognize patterns. Some people left this world full of regret. Some people left this world um, scared but content. The difference wasn't their job, it wasn't their status in the world, it wasn't their achievements. I noticed that the differences that I found were in clarity and in the connections that they had during their lives. I couldn't talk to everyone. Some of the people were already unresponsive by the time we arrived at the scene. But the ones that I did get to talk to gave me something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. And it's the kind of wisdom that you can't learn from books or from training. It was the wisdom that was given by witnessing both regret and love in the rawest forms possible. I saw people who were angry and frustrated, wishing that they had been better parents, wishing that they had been better friends, wishing that they had been better kids. Almost always, the regrets that these people had uh, all had to do with relationships. And then I saw the others. They weren't full of regret. They weren't worried about unfinished business or quarterly earning statements. Um, with these people, there were always two things that they communicated to me. One, they wanted to know that they weren't alone, and they wanted to make sure that their loved ones knew that they were loved and thought of. The stark contrast between those two hit me really hard. Two very distinct endings, and the gap between them wasn't luck. The gap had to do with how they lived their lives before this crisis came to their doorstep. That experience taught me something simple, but really life changing. Regret happens when we ignore our values, peace happens when we live them. Crisis doesn't create clarity, it exposes whether or not you've practiced for it. I like to think of my values like the bunker gear that we wore as firefighters. The gear didn't make us invincible, it didn't make the fire safe, but it let us step into situations that otherwise would have broken us down and hurt us. Our values work the same way. They won't erase the stress or the struggle or make life any different than what it is, but they can provide strength and they can provide protection so that we can weather those storms. We can navigate our ship through those storms with clarity and with purpose. So, in this, I'm developing tools that I have used that have been massively beneficial for me. And I want to share those things in the hopes that they can be helpful for some other people too. And really, the beginning of all of this is knowing where you stand as an individual. And this is a path that you have to walk. It's a path of discovery and curiosity and honesty. And it's a path that I continue to try to walk most days. So here's a real easy thing that we can do. I call it a values map. Write down 3 values that matter to you the most. For each one, write one small action that you can do that proves that value today. And then at the end of the day, reflect on your day and say, did I live them? That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's a process of progression, not perfection. And clarity isn't something that you just happen to stumble into. It's something that you practice every day, like putting on your bunker gear when you're getting toned out for a call and you're going and fighting that emergency, but you can do it because you've practiced and you've prepped and you're ready. You don't have to wait for crisis in your life to figure out what matters. You can choose that clarity now. The truth is, none of us are invincible. But when we contemplate these things like our values and our beliefs, and we invest in the things that matter to us, to each of us, then you're more prepared for whenever that crisis does come. So I'm going to leave you with one question today. What's one value that you would regret not living today? If this hit home, I send out an anchor note every week. It's just a simple tool, just like this one, like the value map. It's free, and it's a way of helping you live with clarity before crisis. The link's in the description if you want in. And if you like content with substance, follow along. Welcome to the Anchor Forge. I'm Ian.